The theme of this TEDx is change, and I think all of us here are aware that Sacramento is in the midst of an incredible evolution. We are seeing so many people returning to the urban core and really reclaiming these somewhat dormant spaces for themselves. They're really doing it in ways that are high investment, small, different gatherings, different pop-ups, in ways that really reflect our desire to define this new Sacramento, this Sacramento 3.0. And really what they are, it's a collection of glimpses into the future of what our region is going to be. And so you start to see this kind of vision start to coalesce. And you say, well, how do you take all of these efforts and put them into one vision, one that we can share? How do you go from moments to momentum? You know, how are we creating a shared experience that really responds to our needs? And when we talk about placemaking, we're not talking about just events. We're not talking about public art projects. Those are part of it. What we're talking about is an approach. It's a strategy that puts people first. It puts our needs first. And it creates areas that really respond to what we need these places to look like, what we need these places to do, what we want them to feel like. And it really allows for visitors and businesses and residents to explore and to think big and to really thrive in ways that are specific to our needs. And one really great benefit of this is it creates a lot of community buy-in. When the community is telling itself what it wants, you have that leeway to experiment, to try new things, quirky things, fun things, because there's trust and because there's buy-in from across the community. And so there's some really cool projects happening across the world I'd like to highlight. An obvious one is the High Line. This is the urban park in Manhattan that converted an urban railway into a park. And it really is relevant because it started off as just a group of concerned citizens and stakeholders who said, what are we going to do with this dumpy rail line? How are we going to make it a community asset that actually respects the history of our area, but also propels us forward? And you know, because of all of that investment, it really turned into a giant success, one that success has spurred even bolder projects, like this floating park, just steps from the High Line that will be built in the next couple of years. You see these same approaches in places like Seattle that's doing an organic redesign of its waterfront. And so I just returned from Australia yesterday, where I got to attend a festival called Vivid. And it's a really amazing festival because it leverages the cultural offerings of Sydney in a new and innovative way that doesn't take a lot of infrastructure. It's just shining projections onto buildings all over the city. But it really helps to reimagine Sydney as a place where the creative industries are thriving, and it really was something that was from the ground up. And it's unlike anything I've ever seen. And you can imagine something like this in our region, on the Capitol Mall, for instance. I mean, they've even made their porta potties very attractive. So they're thinking outside the box, for sure. While I was there, I was invited to Newcastle to give a talk on placemaking, and Newcastle is a lot more similar to Sacramento than Sydney. It's a place where, you know, the urban core is just now being redeveloped, and people are still trying to figure out what is this place going to look like. And so the government has actually been giving grants to different communities to kind of invent ways that would really be site-specific to their neighborhoods to placemake. And a project that was really great is this headphones project. Now, Newcastle has a lot of buskers, which for Americans means street performers. And so they actually installed this piece a couple weeks ago that are amps. So street performers can actually come up, plug in, and perform. So it's an instant music venue. Isn't that great? And yeah, it wasn't my idea. And residents can even go up to the project with their phones and Bluetooth their own playlists. So it's site-specific, it's interactive, it really works. Kind of going back to projects that we're working on here, I'm not sure if you're aware, but Underbelly, I'm working with 2 local muralists to really transform this monofunctional space like a freeway underpass and really working with the farmers market and the community to create a real community asset. So it'll be a 70,000 square foot mural. We work with Caltrans in the city. We've fundraised for it, and that'll be started in August. So it's really a way to take something, this was my idea. It's really a way to take something that's not really functioning or responding to the community and making it something really exciting that really works. Here's another project, the Lavender Heights project. This is an example of leveraging a community's identity in a new and exciting way. So 20th and K is at the center of Midtown. It's historically been our LGBT kind of area, and really what they're doing is installing rainbow crosswalks so that this is an instantly iconic, and City Council just approved this, so it's happening. They're fundraising for it. And it's a way of really kind of taking something that's happening, leveraging it, and creating an identity that's distinct, and it really would not work anywhere else in the city. And so this is a chance for me to introduce a new project called Portal, which I developed with a local genius architect, Kim Garza. And really it's a chance to kind of put this visioning into the public's hands. It's a temporary responsive structure that we're putting in front of the Crystal Ice Building for about 6 weeks starting in August. And it's a chance for the public to really be transported into the future of Sacramento. And so it's a structure that will remain in the street, be available 24 hours, and it will evolve to highlight the different kind of industries in Sacramento that are really linking our region to the future, whether it's green or arts or kind of design and tech. And really what we're creating is a platform. So it's a way for people who are doing work in the community to really reach the public, whether that's a lecture or a classroom or a screening or a party or just kind of places for people to hang out. And we'll have a lot of different areas to get feedback, both analog and digital, so that we're really kind of creating this data set about what people say when you ask them, what do you want in your community? What programming do you want? What do you want this place to be in 5 years? And so if you'd like to be involved, we'll be around after this. So thank you very much.